I've often said that I risk my life for nothing in Fallujah, and I'm totally comfortable saying that. And most people can get that and appreciate that. And even people who are totally pro-war can say, all right, you're missing something, but more power to you to say that. But the people that do appreciate it, and I think it's most people I talk to, when I say I risk my life for nothing, they get that and they can appreciate that and know that I didn't see anything productive coming out of my service specifically in Iraq. But when you explain to them the obvious logical corollary, which is that if I risk my life for nothing, it means that the Marine that died next to me in Fallujah died for nothing. And it means that the Marine that's going to die in Iraq in the next 24 hours is going to die for nothing. And that responsibility for that is incumbent upon all of us, and the burden of that rests on all of our shoulders as Americans. And that is more than most people are willing to accept emotionally. And it's really tragic because not only did I risk my life for nothing, I feel like I risked my life for less than nothing. I mean, it was like I was lied to support not just the war at first, which I didn't support, but then the occupation afterwards. And we are still being lied to every single day. We are being told, fed propaganda and propaganda and propaganda, and especially military families and military communities and people in the military. We're the most propagandized population on the planet. At the Chow Hall at Camp Fallujah, we had the news on for a while, and then when the Marines took over for the Army, they said, nah, we're just going to play sports until they got the military news network or whatever it's called. And then we got that propaganda, and that was the only way we were able to get any kind of news. But what's really important here, I think, is that not only that those individuals and families and people who are so directly affected, realize and accept that we risked our lives for nothing, and that the whole war is a waste, and that my life and my time there was a waste, and that the people that died there, their lives were literally wasted. Not just wasted, but stolen. They were, some people have gone so far as to call it technically murder on behalf of the president and all those who lied us into war. I don't know about the legal definition of murder, but it was definitely some deliberate deception there. And it's only when we, as a whole country, can get over this psychologically and understand that we make mistakes as a country. And when we make mistakes, they have those dire consequences. And when we allow our government to lie to us and to support in a war, and we don't stop it, and we don't help hold them accountable, the consequences of those mistakes, the responsibility for that is on all of us.
As I've said before in my anti-war work, where it's a lot more obvious, some of these problems that really invigorate people and make people passionate when they see the destructiveness of war and the connection to the Federal Reserve. But when we start talking about monetary policy, it often goes over people's heads. It often, you see blank stares and eyes glaze over when you get into money supply and inflation and all these other terms that people don't really get into their daily lives. But when it comes down to it, and you understand the connection between monetary policy and our interventionist, destructive foreign policy, you understand that the issues before us today are truly a matter of life and death. It's not enough to understand that the war in Iraq is simply bad for America, bad for our security, destroying our military, our ability to defend ourselves, destroying our reputation abroad, has caused now the displacement of up to 5 million Iraqis, 2.5 internally and 2.5 externally displaced refugees, but also 1 million at least dead in Iraq who have died violent deaths as a direct result of the occupation, not to mention the 1 million that died as a result of the sanctions that we placed on Iraq in the decade previous. It is with that same conviction that we must bring to this issue. We must take that on. And as Anthony touched on, I want to quote Henry Ford here. And this is something this is from featured in the documentary, of course, Freedom to Fascism. It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system. For if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Now, people are starting to understand. And people are starting to learn the truth. And the issue has been repressed. The media has blacked it out. And it's not that we can't handle the truth, but that they can't handle us knowing the truth.